beginning of the new year, many people, they feel this excitement, but many also feel tired, uncertain, or quietly disappointed that life did not turn out the way they planned. Some people are carrying unfinished dreams, some are carrying delays, some are carrying the emotional weight of starting again, yet again. I'm starting again. I think we all can at least identify with one of these things that I'm saying. Today, we want to talk honestly about starting again without shame, and what happens when we move from endless planning to gentle, intentional doing. Because sometimes we plan until, we plan and overanalyze until we get paralyzed, we get analysis paralysis, and nothing is coming out of it. So, Sister Funmi and myself, we think that this time around is going to be a year of action, and wherever you stopped or whatever you planned and never started, the time is now. Start it right away, sis. I'll give it to you. Sis, you're muted. You need to unmute yourself so that everybody can hear what you're saying.
Sorry,
Yes.
I muted myself and then unmuted myself and then muted myself again. It's thank you very much, everyone. It's lovely that you mentioned that, and it's a space that is not about doing this together. Is not about putting pressure on anyone or perfection, or we all get it, or we've gotten it right. No, no, or performance. No, it's just being real about the conversations that we're going to be having today. Yes, conversations that will help us to move forward, conversations that will help us to see that as much as this time is there, it's not just a lapse. It's a time, that we need to, what do you call it? How will I call it? Make sure that we connect deeply with our own humanity first and foremost, so that we'll be able to do the work of humanity. You understand me? It's very important that we don't think that this time that we are waiting is a time that nothing is happening, because God is working in us, with us, and for us. And this is what I want us to take for this time, such that we don't just think, oh, things are not moving, and because they're not moving, oh, we're not actually achieving anything. What exactly are we really achieving? Why are we waiting? What is happening? What This is the time for you to look at yourself and think, okay, what is happening on the inside of me? What is going on in my life personally? What can I change in my life personally? What is God doing in my life? Okay, if God is doing something, what is He doing? How am I using, how will those things affect what I want to do for humanity? So this year is, we're choosing conversations that support real life situations, practical situations, not a you know random thing. No. So let's begin and start seeing what is happening in our lives, what are we doing, what is God doing through our lives, and what are we ready to do for God with humanity as well. I'll hand it over to you, Sister Comfort.
Yeah, something too that I've realized is that over time, planning can feel productive, and sometimes planning becomes also a place where we hide. And this could happen like after a disappointment or a delay or a loss. Planning feels safer, than acting in such situation. Because sometimes I think, like me too, when I've tried or I think that I've failed or there's a loss or something happened, I get to be very, very careful. Planning is you being very careful, because I want to plan well and fix it well so I don't fail again or it doesn't happen again. Because acting means risking again. So you planning becomes now a comfort zone. It means hoping again when you start acting. It means being visible again. So we tell ourselves we're getting ready when really we're protecting ourselves from being hurt. But then I think it comes, the change can only come from being hurt, from being beaten, from being from being from watching tons of money, like people have testified, go down the drain. But then you don't give up. You say, I am starting over again. I will try it again. Why did it fail? What should I do differently? What I've is that nothing my life when I planned more. Things changed when I started doing, like imperfectly, quietly, sometimes afraid. I'm not here to like keep talking about my book, but sometimes it's difficult to say. It's just that Funmi too has got two though. But when, because it was going on and on and on. Even when I wrote the little book, the Rise Above All Odds, I kept it. I was even scared of taking it out. You keep planning and then you read through it and feel that no, who reads this? Who looks at this? And stuff like that. Not until you take the bold steps, stand up and say, let me show it to one sister and then to the next and to the next. And before you know it, it's out there. At least a few people, guys, if you are watching and you've read my book, kindly let me know, or you drop me a review on Amazon or anywhere. I just really need to know what people think, those who have read. So confidence did not just come before action. Confidence came because of action. The moment people are like, oh, congratulations, good job, and stuff like that, one or two people appreciating it, now the confidence comes. You want to do more. You want to keep going. Like personally, every day I'm telling myself, this is my year of action. But then I did not start taking action on the 1st of January. This is the first this year, right? But then from here, as we start, we have to continue. Sometimes people use personal experience, but they're sharing what they've lived. So you know what you've done, you know where you are now, you know where you have been. Stop planning, just stand up and do it wrong, and then see where you get it wrong. That's when correction comes. The right thing can only come after you do it wrong, or you try doing it and struggling, and then get help, or fix it somehow. Starting again does not mean you failed. It means you're willing, you're still willing to do it, because you are looking at the big picture. When you see all the great people we talk about in the world today, would have, from business perspective or whatever kind of success, they would have planned and failed and done it over and over again before they ever do. You see the athletes, they're running every day and going here and they're making news around. They practice all the time. They do a lot of stuff. I think our case is not different. Whatever you are in, start it all over again, if that's what it means. Or if you stop somewhere, continue from there. If the one you started and stop somewhere is looking good, do not break it if it's not bad. This year we both are choosing, honest movement over perfect plans, because we want to be perfect. You're just going to be, you go to burn out. I think we know all of these things. And if not, if you don't mind, maybe you drop a comment. Let's know what you think about this topic, and how about planning, or planning versus taking action. So I'll let my sister speak before she forgets what she wanted to say, because I'm going on and on.
No problem. You're not going on and on, but you are, expressing a point there, which is very relevant, in the sense that sometimes many people come into the new year, they are already, exhausted, tired, mentally, emotionally, and physically, sometimes depending on the kind of job they've been doing, or if they've been on the roll at job. Take, for example, medical people, during that time, Christmas time is A&E sometimes always full during Christmas time, and even on Boxing Day, that kind of thing. So many
Yeah.
people come into the new year like that, especially those who care deeply, support others, like I was saying, and carers and the rest of them, carry, or ambulance people, the police, and the rest of them. They are already exhausted. So consistency is like telling them to please be consistent, and telling them, oh, consistency is very important, is like overwhelming for them. So at the end of the day, you need to start little by little. You don't need to start everything once, that kind of thing. So the momentum needs to gather. So as soon as they come, or you come off, make sure you rest a bit. Start resting if you've not rested for a long time, or you've not rested throughout the Christmas and the New Year. As it started, you were working. Try and actually rest, because consistency doesn't mean intensity. It just means you starting something without, so that it's not all words. Basically, it's not all words that you're speaking, but you're putting action into that. But you rest, before you start taking those little, as you are resting, take little steps, bit by bit, and then still returning to count and think, okay, look, what have I done here? What have I not done? Okay, I can do this now, but I can't do this now. So depending on what kind of energy level you have left from Christmas to the new year, does not mean that this year doesn't require some, how will I call it, what do you call it, commitment and movement. You understand me? It requires commitment. It requires you being not just committed, but taking little actions that shows that commitment, because it requires kindness to make progress possible. But kindness means you first need to be kind to yourself. Make sure you're resting, and then when you're rested, you are able to think of someone else that you can also be kind to. So this year, we need to make sure that we are reflecting on ourselves, because we want to make sure, like, Brother Oliver always says something, think about your health, because you need to be alive, you know. So it's very important that we draw back a little bit, take that rest, but in the process of taking that rest, your mind also is resting and able to think about things that are very much important, very important. But as you are thinking about them, you're also taking many steps to make sure that those steps, those things you're thinking about, come into manifestation, as in they become reality, basically. I will leave it there. Sister Comfort, over to you. And we can't hear you.
I muted myself, so I had to talk to myself a little bit. So I was just agreeing with you that indeed we can go on and on, but then bottom line here is that we need to graduate ourselves from planning to action. Wherever you started planning, start doing it now. Or if you started and you did not finish, it's not failure, it's not weakness. You just showing willingness to make it until you get it. You're still looking at the big picture, so planning has its place, but it shouldn't replace living, right? Just like Sister Fumi said, you need to be kind, and be kind even to yourself, sis.
Yeah, just like you said, consistency should support your life and not drain it. You understand me?
That's so
Uh,
yeah,
and
indeed. Yeah,
it's
that's so
very
true. So starting,
it's it's
yeah,
it's it's very important that it doesn't drain it. If it starts to drain it, then retract back a little bit and check what is actually happening. Is it the consistency that is draining, or you were already tired and you did not take a rest before taking the steps? That's very
right,
important.
indeed. No, that is true. I think I agree with you, because starting small steps, starting small, it still counts, because the key word here, I think, is that consistency. Starting small and then keep doing it and going on and on and on, it counts than getting it big, because over planning is we're looking at the big picture so big and thinking that we can make it at once. But then painting a big picture takes a lot of time to paint it until it comes out or do whatever we are doing. So starting small should be the key.
I wanted to say, ask you, whatever it is, yourself, myself, everyone out there, what's one thing that you have been planning for a long time and you could, you have not started, but you can this year gently start? What is
Mhm.
that thing? If you write that thing down, it's important that you write it down, make note of it, and see what you can do gently with that thing. So, when we started, we said something about you don't have to do everything at once. So, take for example, just for example, if you are somebody that you want to help families, to sustain them or send a child or so to school, start with one child, start with one family. Do you understand me? Start with one child, start with one family. Then when you now have a lot of apples, you can be taking on two. Even when you have a lot of apples, you need to still be considerate, whether you want to take on two families, two children, just for example. I'll leave it there.
Right, right. Indeed, indeed. And I just want to stop here, and at least we don't have so many people calling today, but the very first person here was our own big brother, John Barilla. Hi, John. Happy New Year. And of course, thank you for joining us on this first outing on the first, this is the 12th of January.
12th, not 1st of
Yes,
January, 12th.
yes. Hi, there's somebody whose name is Host. Hello, Mr. Host or Mrs. Host. Thank you for being here. And then Shirley Dodson. Thank you, sister, for joining us. Great. Thank you. Happy New Year to you all,
Happy
guys.
New Year to
Let's
you.
do yes, let's try to do something different. Let's move from planning to action and see how it goes. We're just happy that we're able to make this first step, and we'll stop planning, and we just go on and on and on and on. So yeah, that's how this year is going to be: action, 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 action. Because I think that action is what takes us there, and not planning. Going, the more you plan, you keep planning, it remains an idea. It only becomes something or reality when you put it to place, whether it looks good or bad or moderate or average or whatever it is, but then it has a name and a picture. So we are just happy that you guys you joined us.